What if Deku lived a double life? How would it all unfold? Let's dive in. Izuku Midoriya, a rather special aspiring hero as he was the second with a dual-function quirk according to his record. His quirk was divided into using fire at will as well as lightning. Izuku did not stand out much during the year. In fact, he did not like to attract attention, but when he found out that little Eri was in danger, he did not hesitate for the slightest second to go help her. Although the heroes still did not know where Overhaul was hiding, the young green-haired boy did know. The fight was epic. Izuku protected Eri until the last moment and managed to defeat Overhaul. After the fight, Izuku was taken to the hospital as he had second-degree burns on his arms from overusing his quirk. After a few days, Izuku left the hospital but always came back to see Eri, who was happy that Izuku took care of her and helped her with things she didn't understand until one day she was discharged and was cared for by the UA, but she still wanted to spend time with Izuku since she saw him as her father. The first year passed and they were already in the last weeks of their second year, and in all that time the attitude that Izuku showed was that of a lazy person who doesn't like to do anything, but he only pretended that since Izuku was many things. But not a lazy person at all. Now Izuku was sleeping in his UA room until there was a knock on the door. "Ida, Midoriya, are you there?" Izuku, "No." "Ida, I'm going in." Ida entered the room only to receive a pillow in the face. "Ida, Midoriya, that's not it." Ida didn't continue speaking as he saw how Izuku was asleep. "Ida, he doesn't let his guard down even when he's asleep, he's someone surprising." At that moment Katsuki, Kyoka and Momo arrived at Izuku's room. "Momo, are you here, Ida?" "Ida, yes." "Momo, what's wrong?" "Ida, that's it." Everyone watched as Izuku rolled and fell out of bed but still didn't wake up. "Momo, he is a very heavy sleeper." "Katsuki, I wake him up." Katsuki approached Izuku and crouched down before throwing a slap at him, but Izuku dodged it by rolling. "Ida, oh yeah, Midoriya doesn't let his guard down even when he's asleep." "Kyoka, great." Katsuki slapped Izuku and then walked away. "Ida, he didn't wake up." "Izuku, waking up it wasn't me, I swear, I was already there when I arrived." "What? Where am I?" "Kyoka, what were you dreaming about?" "Izuku, there are things that are better not to know." "Ida, well, Midoriya, the director needs you in his office." "Izuku, okay, I'm coming, but who slapped me?" "Ida, Bakugo." "Izuku, okay." Izuku's hand filled with small flames and then he slapped Katsuki, knocking him out of the room and leaving him unconscious. "Ida, Midoriya." "Izuku, what? Nobody told him to slap me." "Momo, well, it would be best if you go now." "Izuku, and what are you doing here?" "Momo, I came to look for Ida to go with Aizawa-sensei." "Kyoka, I followed you, Momo." "Izuku, whatever, close the door when you leave." Izuku left the room and went to the principal's office. "Izuku, what's wrong, director?" "Nezu, young Midoriya, we need to talk to you about something." "Izuku, tell me, what's wrong?" "Nezu, little Eri was going to be in Aizawa's custody, but Eri wanted you to be her father, and after a long discussion, Eri won." "Izuku, I understand, I used the puppy eyes like I taught him, he. "Nezu, do you agree to be Eri's father?" "Izuku, it's okay." "Nezu, it won't be that easy, young Midoriya, you'll need to sign some papers and... Do you have your own house and a fixed income?" "Izuku, yes." "Nezu, do you have a criminal record?" "Izuku, only using quirk in public." "Nezu, okay, then everything would be fine, but there is a small problem." "Izuku, which one would it be?" "Nezu, you need to have a partner." "Izuku, are you kidding?" "Nezu, unfortunately not." "Izuku, size, it's okay." "Nezu, calm down, it's not necessary at this time, but if you need it or the adoption will be annulled." "Izuku, I understand." "Nezu, you may retire, young Izuku." "Izuku, thank you, director." Izuku bowed and then left the office. "Izuku, where will I find a mother for Eri?" Izuku returned to his room and went back to sleep until his cell phone rang. "Izuku, answers what?" "Bitch, I got one for you." "Izuku, great, I'll be there in a few minutes." Izuku hung up and then changed into a black shirt as well as his pants and red tennis shoes, as well as putting on a cap and a face mask. "Izuku, let's see how well they do." Izuku opened his balcony and then went out in the direction of his house, and after a few minutes he arrived. Izuku, let's see how much time passed. It was only 1 month, I don't think much time passed. Izuku entered the house and then entered the garage and removed a tarp that covered a car. Izuku, my precious. Izuku hugged the car and then got in and started it. Izuku, you're still the same as I remember you. The garage opened and Izuku left, then the garage closed and Izuku went somewhere. After a few minutes I arrive and see many people gathered and many cars parked. Izuku, it feels so good to be back. Izuku got out of the car and was greeted as if he were a celebrity. Hey! Good to see you're here, ready? Izuku, of course, Hiro. Hiro, let's get started then. Izuku got back into his car and then lined up with other cars ahead of him. Hiro, 3, 2, 1. Now. Everyone left the place at full speed to start running through the streets of lonely Musatafu. Izuku, I love this shit. The race continued and at no time did Izuku lose first place. After the race that Izuku won, he got out of the car and went with Hiro. Hiro, alright broccoli, you won just like I predicted, so here you go. Hiro handed him 50,000 yen and Izuku kept it but gave 15,000 yen to Hiro and then stretched out. Izuku, give me a beer, I have to celebrate this. Hiro, I raised you well. Hiro gave Izuku a beer and they started drinking and partying until sirens started going off. Izuku, I think that's the alarm, see you Hiro. Hiro, goodbye and don't get caught. Izuku, when did they do it? Izuku and Hiro fist bumped and then Izuku got into his car and drove away. Izuku, sighs, who could be Iri's mother? Izuku continued driving calmly until he arrived at his house and got in the car and then entered the house and lay down on the couch. Izuku, I could ask her even though she won't be a good influence on Iri. Izuku looked at the time and then freaked out. Izuku, 15 minutes left until class. Izuku used the boost quirk to increase his speed and then left the house leaving it closed so that no one could enter and went to the bedrooms and entered through the balcony of his room to then change into his uniform and go down to the kitchen and eat some cereal and finally go to class meeting Katsuki. Katsuki, you look horrible. Izuku, that's what I get for partying. Katsuki, did you have another race? Izuku, yes. Katsuki, and you stayed to drink? Izuku, I don't know why you ask if the answer is obvious. Katsuki, I hope it doesn't take effect on you soon. Izuku, it's already taking effect, I almost fell off a building on my way here. Katsuki, idiot haha. They both entered class and Izuku sat in his place and then tried to rest but the universe was against him. Present, yeah. Okay, let's get started guys. Izuku, whispering damn my luck. Classes started and after a while they left at lunchtime. Izuku, go to sleep. Izuku dropped his head on his table and then began to fall asleep. Kaminari, hey Izuku, are you coming to eat with us? Kirishima, he's asleep. Kyoka, it's nothing new. Everyone left leaving Izuku alone. After an hour the bell rang indicating the end of lunchtime and waking Izuku up. Izuku, waking up, get away from me Katsudon. Huh what? Everyone entered the classroom and saw Izuku stretching and rubbing his eyes. Izuku, God what a good dream I had. Everyone continued their classes but now Izuku was in a better condition. At the end of classes everyone left and went to the dormitories and Izuku fell asleep as soon as he got to his bed. After several hours they started knocking on the door, waking him up. Izuku, let the other guy sleep. Shoto, Midoriya I have to talk to you. Izuku, I'm not on duty, come later. Shoto, seriously Midoriya, we need to talk. Izuku, and I want to sleep, I had a very heavy night and right now my bed is seducing me so I don't leave it. Shoto. Izuku, I'll come find you later. Izuku went back to sleep and Shoto just sighed and went to his room. After a couple of hours Izuku woke up and got dressed. Izuku, alright, let's go for Katsudon. Izuku opened the door and there was Shoto about to knock on it. Izuku, you've been waiting all this time? Shoto, no, I went to play video games and when I finished I came back. Izuku, interesting, well, what do you need Shoto? Shoto, the old man wants to see you. Izuku, what old man? Shoto, Endeavor. Izuku, oh, tell him to make an appointment and I'll gladly assist him. Shoto, seriously Izuku. Izuku, Whatever, let's go. Where are we going? Shoto, to my house, there is the old man. Izuku, well then, let's go. Izuku and Shoto went to Shoto's house, and when they entered they saw Endeavor with some papers. Shoto, ready, I brought it, now I'm leaving. Shoto left the house, leaving Izuku alone with Endeavor. Izuku, hello, what do you want? Endeavor, I'll be direct, I want you to marry my daughter. Izuku, no. Endeavor was surprised because Izuku did not hesitate for the slightest second. Endeavor, are you rejecting the daughter of the number one hero? Izuku, yes. Endeavor, do you know how many people would like to be in your place? Izuku, do you know how much I give a shit? Endeavor, you're turning down a very valuable offer, brat. Izuku, and why don't you let her give her opinion too, huh? I know she's been spying since Shoto left. Endeavor turned back and only saw white hair with a red streak hiding quickly. Endeavor, Fuyumi. Come here now. Fuyumi came out of her hiding place with a scared face towards her father. Fuyumi, why yes, what's wrong? Endeavor, do you want to get married or not? Fuyumi was trembling under her father's gaze and only responded with fear. Fuyumi, yes, I do want to get married. Endeavor, there he is, brat, now what do you say? They both turned to look at Izuku and saw that he was playing on his cell phone. Izuku, oh what? Endeavor, will you marry my daughter, yes or no? Izuku, if I marry her I wouldn't have to look for Iri's mother anymore. How clever you are Izuku, done. Endeavor, great, tomorrow. Izuku, interrupting Buit, I have two conditions. Endeavor, which ones? Izuku, Fuyumi's mother has to give her opinion and you can't lie to me that she's dead since Shoto took me to see her one day, and I'll tell the second one when she's already given her opinion. Endeavor, sighs irritated, it's okay. Izuku, well, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm leaving because I have things to do. Izuku left the house and then using the raise he increased his speed and jumped from building to building until he reached his house. Izuku, clean this place up, Endeavor will force Rei to say yes so Fuyumi will come live here. Izuku began to clean his house and when he was done he looked at the time. Izuku, there are still 3 hours until Aizawa-sensei can punish me. I'll go get him, I won't be able to take them in my current car. Izuku left the house and walked until he reached a warehouse and then opened it and looked at what was inside. Izuku, I'm starting to think they multiply when I'm not around. Izuku started moving forward until he found the one he wanted. Izuku, okay, you're still here. Izuku took the car keys and then got in to take it out of the warehouse and then close it. Izuku, let's go home baby. Izuku drove to his house and then put the car in the garage next to his and then went to the bedrooms, and when he arrived he went to his room and fell asleep. A week later. Izuku was playing with Iri in his room until there was a knock on the door. Izuku, there is no hard bread, come back tomorrow. Shoto, Midoriya, the old man wants to see you. Again. Izuku, thanks Shoto, I'm coming. Iri, where are you going dad? Izuku, I'm going to go see your mom. Iri, excited, can I go? Izuku, you know I can't say no to you. Izuku put Iri's toys in a backpack and then they both left the bedrooms while Iri was on his shoulders asking him things about her mom. Izuku, don't worry, when you see her yourself you'll be able to ask her whatever you want. Izuku and Iri went to Izuku's house and after taking the car they went to Endeavor's house and knocked on the door and then Endeavor opened it for them. Izuku, hello. Endeavor, whose brat is it? Iri, who's the walking fire, dad?
Izuku, ha 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 ha. Lou, I'll explain it to you later Iri.
Endeavor, you have a daughter? Izuku, yes. Endeavor, whatever, it doesn't affect the marriage. I hope. Izuku entered the house and looked at Fuyumi who had a dull face and her eyes expressed fear. Izuku, okay, let's negotiate. Iri, take my cell phone and my headphones so you can play but don't play the game on the left. Iri, why? Izuku, it's very bloody. Iri, okay dad, can I download a game? D. Izuku, you will die as a cell phone space hero, okay. Iri put on her headphones and started watching cat videos. Izuku, well, where is it? Endeavor pointed to a dejected woman sitting on the couch. Izuku approached the woman and just looked at her while she continued looking at the ground. Izuku, are you okay with me marrying your daughter? Rei looked in the direction where Endeavor was and trembled before nodding. Izuku, wow, you exaggerated Endeavor. Izuku took Rei's chin and looked up to see dull eyes. Izuku, you want me to marry your daughter? Rei just looked down again, so Izuku sighed. Izuku, okay, I already have my second condition. Endeavor, what is it? Izuku, you're going to get Rei out of the mental hospital and she's coming to live with me. Endeavor, done. Rei looked up and looked at Izuku in confusion. Rei, why did you do that? Izuku watched as Endeavor went to fix Rei's situation and Fuyumi went to get her things, leaving them alone with Eri, who was watching her cat videos. Izuku, don't you remember me anymore, Rei-chan? Rei opened her eyes in surprise while Izuku smiled. Flashback. Izuku and Hiro were escaping from the police, and in that Izuku parked his car in a warehouse and then got out and both began to walk as if nothing happened, losing the police. Izuku, hee idiots. Hiro, then they wonder why there are still villains. They both started walking until they passed in front of a psychiatric hospital, and Hiro watched as a white-haired woman looked out her window at the stars, so he approached and Izuku followed him. They both climbed up the wall helping each other until they reached where the woman was and just sat on either side of the window. Rei, they're pretty, aren't they? Izuku, yes, they are. Rei, why were they running away from the police? Hiro, we were framed. Rei, they are crazy, hee. Hiro, it's fun to be crazy, after all, everyone is crazy to a certain point. And you? What crazy thing did you do to end up here? Rei, it's a long story. Hiro, I have all the time in the world. Rei walked away from the window and sat on the bed looking out the window, so Hiro leaned on the window frame and went in to then take a chair and sit in front of her while Izuku just watched her leaning from the window frame. Rei, sighs, I suffered abuse from my husband since our first child was born, and after so many years of abuse I ended up with a deep fear of my husband, and one day I threw boiling water in my son's eye and well, I ended up here. Hiro, oh. I see. Rei, now you can go. Like everyone else. Hiro laughed lightly and stood up to then approach her and give her a hug while he lightly caressed her back, and the albino was somewhat surprised, but after a few seconds she reciprocated the hug. Rei, it's a strange feeling. You're not cold. Although you're not warm either. Hiro, I'm very special. They both remained hugging for a few seconds until Hiro separated. Hiro, I guess being here is boring. So I'll give you my word that I'll get you out of here. Rei, thank you. I'll believe that little lie to stay alive. Izuku, he never lies. Or at least he doesn't lie to women. Rei, so, are you really going to do it? Hiro, yes, I promise. Rei, then. I'll look forward to that day. Hiro smiled, and in his hand he created a small ice necklace with a snowflake as I said, and then he handed it to the albino. Hiro, this is proof that I'll be back. And that I'll get you out of here. Rei, thank you very much. Hiro, you don't have to thank me for anything. Izuku, what's your name? Rei, I'm Rei. Rei Todoroki. Hiro, well, until we meet again. Rei-chan. Rei smiled and Hiro bowed as if he were before a queen, and then walked over to the window and pushed Izuku, causing him to fall, and then said goodbye to Rei and left the room, leaving the albino happy as she looked at the necklace. End of flashback. Rei just stared at the green-haired boy and then looked at the necklace that Hiro had given her that day. Rei, where is he now? Izuku, right now? He must be talking to someone to get her out of there. Rei, so. I never forget the promise. He always remembered me. Izuku, he never forgets his promises. Rei, I'm very happy. Izuku, although I think he's going to get angry because I made him unable to fulfill it since I was the one who took you out. Rei, well, let's hope that doesn't happen. Rei laughed lightly and continued talking to Izuku while smiling, hoping to be able to leave there to go see that albino boy who never forgot her. Endeavor returned and just watched as Rei happily talked to Izuku while laughing occasionally. Endeavor managed to make Rei smile. Izuku, is it ready yet? Endeavor, yes, Rei will not return to the mental hospital. Izuku, okay. Where do I sign? Endeavor showed the document which already had Fuyumi's signature. Izuku, alright, let's do this quickly. Izuku signed the document and Endeavor smiled slightly. Izuku, well, bye. Izuku took an earphone from Eri, who turned to look at him. Eri, what's wrong? Izuku, We're leaving now, little one. Eri, okay. Izuku carried Eri on his back and then helped Fuyumi and Rei with their things and put them in the car and then drove to the house, although Eri was asking Fuyumi many questions which she answered the ones she could. After a few minutes they arrived at the house and the two white-haired women were surprised to see her. Rei, is this your house? Izuku, yes. Izuku put the car in the garage and the girls were surprised again to see another car and a motorcycle. Rei, you really like speed, right? Izuku, I like it quite a bit. The girls got out of the car and then Izuku helped them with their things, and when they were in the living room Izuku left the things and gave the girls a tour of the entire house and then assigned them their rooms. Fuyumi was packing her things in her room while Izuku took a shower, and when Izuku came out he was wearing green shorts and a white long-sleeved shirt that was a bit too big for him. Izuku, are you done yet? Fuyumi, why yes. Izuku, fine, I'll go. Izuku didn't finish speaking as he watched as Fuyumi began to take off her clothes in fear as tears fell down her cheeks. Izuku, what are you doing?
Fuyumi, I just want to make sure I'm doing things right.
She hesitated, looking unsure of what to do, but Izuku gently took her hands in his and pulled her into a warm embrace. Izuku, Fuyumi, listen to me. You don't need to do anything you're uncomfortable with. Fuyumi, but my father said. Izuku, I don't care what he said. You have choices here. You're safe. Fuyumi nodded shyly and Izuku just kept hugging her while stroking her hair, and after a few seconds Fuyumi reciprocated the hug. They both remained hugging for a few seconds until Izuku separated and gave a kiss on Fuyumi's forehead. Izuku, Fuyumi, I want you to know this clearly. I am not what you think, but little by little you will discover that I am. Fuyumi, oh okay. Izuku, and above all, here you are not obliged to anything. Fuyumi, it's okay. Izuku hugged Fuyumi again and after a few seconds he separated. Izuku, fine, I'll go prepare some food and then I'll go out, I'll be back at night. Do you want me to bring you something? Fuyumi, and no thanks. Izuku, okay, if you need anything, let me know. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the forehead and then left the room while she put on more comfortable clothes to be at home. Izuku made the food and after saying goodbye to Rei and Eri he got on his motorcycle and then put on his helmet. Izuku made the food and after saying goodbye to Rei and Eri he got on his motorcycle and then put on his helmet. Izuku left on the motorcycle and then arrived at the UA parking lot where he caught the attention of Class A, which was going to leave. Izuku parked and then checked his cell phone. Mineta, how beautiful, how much do you think a bike like that costs? Katsuki, hey nerd. How much did it cost you? Class A was confused, but Izuku put away his cell phone and then took off his helmet, leaving Class A surprised except for Katsuki. Izuku, why do you ask if you know that I don't know? I just won and that's it. Katsuki, hee hee. How many do you have so far? Izuku, I don't know. I just win them and leave them in the cellar, I've never counted them. Katsuki, Izuku, well, I'm late, see you Katsuki. Izuku entered UA and headed to the principal's office while Mineta and Kaminari wanted to take pictures with the motorcycle. Katsuki, if you value your lives, don't even try. Kaminari, why? Katsuki, the nerd is very particular about that kind of things, if he finds the slightest scratch, he'll hit them. Mineta, and why? Katsuki, because he doesn't like people touching his stuff. Luckily I learned that the hard way. Momo, should I let you know? Katsuki, no. I saw him beat up a classmate in high school for scratching his motorcycle. Kirishima, and that's for good? Katsuki, it was better that he found out the hard way and I was the one who got hit. The two perverts walked away from the bike and then everyone left. Izuku arrived at the address and then knocked on the door, and when they let him in he saw that Nezu was looking out the window and drinking tea. Izuku, Director Nezu, I came to talk about Eri. Nezu, tell me, young Midoriya. Izuku, I already have a partner so I'm here for the adoption. Nezu, I understand, tell me, who is Eri's mother? Izuku, Fuyumi Todoroki. Nezu, oh. Wow, I didn't see that coming. Izuku, that's right. Nezu, I'm surprised young Midoriya, I thought it was going to be one of your classmates or one of the B class. Izuku, hee hee. Nezu, well, here are the adoption papers, just if Miss Todoroki signed them and everything would be ready. Izuku, I would also like to, well, Move back to my house since I want to spend time with Eri and Fuyumi. Nezu, of course young Izuku, you can go back to your home. Izuku, bowing, thank you very much Director Nezu. Izuku left the office and went to the dorms to start packing. Izuku, I'm a father and a husband now. Boy, life can change in a week. Izuku finished packing his things and then left the dorms. Izuku, good thing I didn't bring much he. Izuku got on his motorcycle and went home, and when he arrived he went inside and left his things watching as Fuyumi watched television while Eri played. Izuku, I'm back. Fuyumi, welcome Izuku. Izuku, I'm going to take some things up, when I come down I'll make dinner. Fuyumi, if you want, I can do it myself. Izuku, no, don't worry, I'll do it, I told you I won't force you to do anything. Fuyumi, let me do it, please. Izuku, fine, you can do it. I've learned that you should never argue with a woman. Izuku went up to his room and left his things and then went downstairs and began to smell something delicious coming from the kitchen. Izuku washed his hands and sat next to Eri to wait for the food, and after a few minutes Fuyumi came out with the food ready and served it on the table, so Izuku started eating, and after taking the first bite he put down the spoon and put on a serious expression. Fuyumi, what's wrong? Does it taste bad? Please forgive me. I promise I won't cook anymore if you don't like it. Izuku, what the hell did you do to make him look like this, Endeavor? Izuku stood up and Fuyumi closed her eyes expecting a blow, but she only felt how she was gently squeezed, and when she opened her eyes she saw how Izuku was hugging her. Izuku, calm down, I really liked your food, it tastes delicious. And I don't want you to be scared, I swear on my life that I will never hit you. Izuku gave her a kiss on the forehead and then sat back down to finish his meal, which for him was the third best meal he had ever had. Izuku, and where is Rei? Fuyumi, she said she was tired and went to sleep. Izuku, I understand, I hope you rest. Izuku finished eating and then washed everyone's dishes and stayed watching television for a bit until he received a call. Izuku, what's wrong? Hiro, I have a race for you to break your ass, D. Izuku, great, I'm on my way. Hiro, where did you break your mother last time? Izuku hung up the call and then went up to Fuyumi's room and saw how she was reading a book, but when she heard the door she got scared and watched as Izuku entered. Fuyumi, what's wrong Izuku? Izuku, I'm going out Fuyumi, I'm going to return quite late at night, so I'm going to sleep downstairs so I don't bother you. Fuyumi, oh okay Izuku. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the forehead and then left the room and went down to the garage to then get into his car and go racing. After a few seconds he arrived at the area where the race was going to take place and got out of his car to then see how Hiro was preparing for the race, so he approached. Izuku, how much did I get off my favorite couch? Hiro, this race pays very well, it's 100,000 for the winner. Izuku, great, why do I need money? Hiro, are you out of alcohol? Izuku, no. But it's about to end. Hiro, are you hiding something from me, you filthy dog? Izuku, nope. Izuku got back into his car and lined up with the other cars to start the race. Izuku, I hope it's interesting. The race started and Izuku took first place and then began to continue the race. Izuku, I feel like these things are getting easier and easier. Izuku continued the race until in the final stretch he received a call from Hiro. Izuku, what's wrong? I'm almost there. Hiro, ah damn it, the police are here, run and don't look back. Izuku arrived at the goal street and saw how everything was full of patrol cars and everyone was being arrested. Izuku, shit. My money. The police saw Izuku and started to follow him, but Izuku was a professional so he lost them quickly until after a few blocks the patrols blocked his way. Izuku, this will be the end of Izuku the lazy one. Izuku watched as on the side of the street there was a truck with wooden boards forming a ramp. Izuku, or maybe not. Izuku went at full speed against the truck and then used the wooden boards and jumped over the patrol cars. Izuku, excited, this is the same as the first time. Izuku jumped over the patrol cars and then continued on his way until he entered an alley and drove the car into a dark warehouse and then got out of the car and closed the warehouse, losing the police. Izuku, my god, that feels so good. I just need to do it with the bike. Izuku turned on the lights of the place showing a mechanical workshop. Izuku, fine, I deserve a break. Izuku took off his cap and face mask and then sat down on a swivel chair and opened a small cooler that was full of beer, whiskey and vodka and took out a beer and then took a good drink and put it aside while he looked at some accounts that were in a notebook on a table. Izuku, damn, it's a good thing I have the money to spare. I have to get the car repaired because it ended up damaged by that jump. But I don't think it will be that expensive. Izuku watched as a red drop fell on the table and then he lifted the sleeve of his shirt and saw how his left arm was dripping blood through the bandages he had. Izuku, damn, now you're going to hurt me? Izuku took off his shirt revealing that his entire left forearm was bandaged leaving only his hand exposed. Izuku, what bad luck I have. Izuku removed the bandages from his forearm revealing a not very deep cut next to a tattoo. Izuku, stupid and exciting car jumps. Izuku healed his wound as best he could and then re-bandaged his arm and leaned back in the chair. Izuku, it's 3 a.m. Beer drinking time has been declared inaugurated. Izuku finished his beer and then stretched before putting on his cap and face mask and walking out, leaving the car in the shop to later make adjustments. Izuku, who the hell would be awake at this hour? Izuku walked until he reached his house and then when he entered he saw how everything was dark so he lit a flame and put it above his head and then continued walking until he entered his room and saw Fuyumi only illuminated by the light of a lamp struggling not to fall asleep. Izuku, Fuyumi, what are you doing awake? Fuyumi, I wanted to wait for you hee. Izuku, I told you I was going to be late. Izuku put out the flame and then went to Fuyumi and laid her down on the bed and as soon as Fuyumi touched the pillow she fell asleep. Izuku, I think Endeavor exaggerated, poor Fuyumi. I promise you that from today on I will make sure that you always have a smile and are happy. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the forehead and then lay down on a sofa that was in the room and fell asleep. Izuku woke up and saw that Fuyumi was still asleep so Izuku got up from the couch and went down to make breakfast and when he finished he ate and then left a note saying that he was going to work. Izuku walked out and arrived at the workshop where his car was and turned on the lights and then went to his car and started checking it. Izuku, there's no serious damage. This will be easy. Izuku took out his cell phone and called Hiro who answered a few seconds later. Hiro, what happened broccoli? Izuku, are you in prison? Hiro, ha. What a good joke. Izuku, I need help, when I escaped I jumped the car and I need to repair it, I'm in the workshop, it's nothing serious but you know how I am. Hiro, yeah, I know. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Izuku, I'll wait for you here. Izuku began to do the repairs he could until he heard the workshop door open and Hiro entered. Hiro, well? Izuku, nothing serious, we'll finish in 30 minutes maximum. Hiro, I hope so, I have a date. Izuku, wow. I thought you were gay. Hiro, hey. Izuku, yeah, you know. For that time you told me you loved me when you were drunk. Hiro, it was only once. Izuku, anyway, let's do this quickly because I have to go home. Hiro, what? You left another woman in your bed like that night? Izuku, it was only once. Hiro, yes, but you woke up with 3 half-naked women in your bed. Izuku, yeah. I'm still surprised that she hasn't lost her virginity. Hiro, you're one lucky son of a bitch he. Izuku, yes. But this time it's different, the woman who is sleeping in my bed is my wife. Hiro, unhappy dog, you got married and you didn't invite me to your wedding. I thought we were friends. Izuku, stop watching soap operas. Hiro, sorry. I was lying on mom's lap and put the soap opera on. Izuku, I didn't get married because of that, I needed a mother for my daughter. Hiro, Izuku. I told you to use protection. Izuku, not that either, idiot. Hiro, so? Izuku, do you remember the girl Overhaul had? Hiro, yes. Izuku, I adopted her and so that there would be no more problems she needed a mother and well. The opportunity presented itself to me. Hiro, and who is the mother? Izuku, Fuyumi Todoroki. Hiro, oh. So you married Ray-chan's daughter? You're a son of a bitch. Izuku, the truth is that she is pretty and everything but. I've only known her for 2 days. Hiro, so what? My best relationship started in 2 days. Izuku, but you finished them and now you don't even remember their names. Hiro, that's true. Izuku, whatever. Let's finish already. Hiro, and tell me. What is it like? Izuku, I won't tell you what my wife is like, you idiot. Hiro, at least you call her your wife. Izuku, well it is. Hiro, Yeah, whatever, if we finish this quickly we can go get a beer. Izuku, I'm always prepared. Hiro, oh yeah, I forgot I had beer here. Izuku, obviously. Hiro, great. They both finished the car and then got up and wiped the sweat off. Hiro, why do you have your tattoo bandaged? Izuku, by the UA, if they see me they will give me a lecture and I don't want to waste my precious time. Hiro, whatever. Give me a beer. Izuku took 2 beers out of the cooler and they both sat drinking while remembering old times. Hiro, do you remember when Katsuki tried to overtake you and increase the speed of the bike but crashed into a trash can and ended up rolling more than half the street? Izuku, yes, ha ha ha. I still can't believe it didn't leave a scar. Hiro, the clothes he had were quite sturdy, the helmet prevented blows to the head and he also had faith. Izuku, yes. But it still leaves him a little crazy. Hiro, I don't deny that, ha ha. Izuku, do you remember when I did my first motorcycle jump? Hiro, how could I forget? You hit a traffic light. Izuku, yeah. Luckily I live alone so I didn't have to give explanations. Hiro, I still don't understand why you moved to the dorms. When you lived at your house we had parties every weekend and they were our best hangouts. Izuku, don't even remind me. I still remember the time I took my first car and crashed it into a fruit stand and then got out and grabbed an apple and left. Hiro, yeah. Why did you do it? Izuku, I wanted an apple. Hiro, hee hee. Izuku, or the time you got into a fight with a cat because it looked at you badly. Hiro, I was so drunk that day that I mistook a pole for a woman. Izuku, yeah. What good times. Hiro, and how are you doing at Hero School? Izuku, sighs, my classmates are annoying because I act like a lazy person who doesn't like to do anything. Katsuki bothers me sometimes but nothing serious, just some jokes, and the hero practices bore me more and more. Hiro, why did you want to be a hero? Izuku, I didn't want to. Don't you remember I was with Katsuki drinking the night before the exam? Hiro, yes. Izuku, well, the next day it caught me while I was trying to calm my hangover and for one reason or another I ended up in the exam. Hiro, so you're telling me that, thanks to Katsuki you're a hero. Izuku, I study to be a hero, I don't want to be a hero. Just because I was taking the exam I ended up taking it. Hiro, you really are an idiot. Izuku, yeah. How could I be a hero if I always do illegal things? Hiro, true, but at least you can tell us what our future dangers are. Izuku, whatever. We better get going. Do you want me to take you home? Hiro, yes. Izuku took the car keys and got in while Hiro turned everything off and then got in the car. Izuku, let's go. Hiro, I still don't understand, if you have all this, why don't you open the mechanic shop again? Izuku, I ask myself the same question every night but I never answer it because I fall asleep. Hiro, you really are an idiot. Izuku, yes. That's why I'm your best friend, hee hee. Izuku dropped Hiro off at his house and then went to his own and entered, leaving the car in the garage and then entering the house and seeing Fuyumi playing with Eri. Izuku, I'm back. Eri, hi daddy, how did it go? Izuku, nothing major, just a little setback. Fuyumi, I'm going to prepare the food. Izuku, calm down Fuyumi, I'll do it. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the forehead and then went to the kitchen and prepared the food, and after a few minutes he served it on the table and the girls began to eat, enjoying the taste since Izuku cooked very well, although Izuku liked Fuyumi's food more but he would not let her do everything. After they finished eating, Izuku washed the dishes and then just laid down on the couch and started watching TV. After a few hours he got up and went to the yard to start exercising while Fuyumi talked to Rei. After a few hours Izuku finished exercising and was quite sweaty. Izuku, okay, let's take a shower. Izuku went up to his room without being seen by both white-haired girls and then entered his room and began to undress and then took a towel and entered the bathroom. Izuku, oh, right. The bandages. Izuku began to remove the bandages that completely covered his left arm, revealing the tattoo. Izuku, sigh, finally my arm is free. Izuku began to take a shower, enjoying the cold water falling on his skin. Meanwhile down below. Rei, are you okay? Fuyumi, yes. I thought Izuku was going to be like dad but he is not like that and that makes me happy. Rei, you still need to know things about him but don't worry, none of them are that bad. Fuyumi, so bad? Rei, find out for yourself, daughter. Fuyumi, do you think anything could harm me? Ray, from the short time I got to know Izuku, I realized that he is someone mysterious. But he would never hurt a woman. Fuyumi, thanks mom. I'll try to have a little more confidence with him. Ray, that's good daughter. Fuyumi, well, I'm going to get something in the room, I'll be right back. Fuyumi went up to the room and then began to search through all her things but she didn't find it. Fuyumi, how strange. Where could it be? Ah. Of course, I left it in the bathroom. Fuyumi entered the bathroom without knocking and was shocked to see Izuku with only a towel covering him from his waist to his knee. Izuku, hello? Fuyumi stared at Izuku's left arm and how it was tattooed but then looked at Izuku's physique making his face look like a ripe tomato. Izuku, Earth calling Fuyumi. Izuku was waving his hand in front of Fuyumi who had her face completely red. Izuku, I have an idea. Izuku gave her a kiss on the cheek bringing her out of her trance and making her look at him. Izuku, would you let me change? Fuyumi, nervous why yes, I'm sorry. Fuyumi ran out of there still covering her face which was still red. Ray, are you okay? You look very red. Fuyumi, I saw Izuku shirtless. Ray, and? Fuyumi started to steam from her ears just remembering Izuku. Fuyumi, why you have a very good body. Ray, with a mischievous smile, oh really? Fuyumi nodded, still covering her face. Ray, I see. Maybe I'll go see him later. Ray was going to get up but then she heard someone coming down and saw Izuku wearing a sleeveless shirt showing off his muscular arms and the tattoo on his forearm. Izuku, do you want something to eat? Ray, Izuku. Your arm. Izuku, huh? Ah, well since Fuyumi already saw it, I think I don't have to hide it anymore. Ray, since when do you have it? Izuku, since a few weeks before the UA exam. Ray, really? Izuku, yes. Fuyumi, and how did you do it? Izuku, well, I was at the tattoo studio watching a friend getting one and I looked at the catalog and I really liked this one and I got it done. Fuyumi, but you are a minor. Izuku, there are children who do worse things. Ray, that's true. Izuku, well, do you guys want to eat something? Ray, not me, thanks Izuku. Fuyumi, me neither. Izuku, sighs well, I'll go for a walk a bit, I'll be back later, do you want anything? Ray, not for now. Fuyumi, well, I'd like some dangos. Izuku, then some dangos, I'll be right back. Izuku took a jacket and left the house. Izuku, let's see. I have to buy more beer and Fuyumi's dangos. Izuku went to the liquor store and bought his beer and then went to the place where they sell dangos and ordered 2 orders. Izuku, sighs, I didn't think being married was so boring. But it's understandable, Fuyumi still has some traumas because of Endeavor. Izuku received the 2 orders of dangos and then went away eating 1 order while continuing to think. After a few minutes he entered the house and saw Ray and Fuyumi watching television. Izuku, I'm back. Ray, welcome Izuku. Izuku, here you go Fuyumi, your order of dangos. Izuku gave his order to Fuyumi and then went to his room and left the beer in a small refrigerator he had. Izuku, okay. I think it's done. Izuku came down again and saw Fuyumi eating her dangos very happily. Izuku, where's Eri? Ray, he must be in his room. Izuku went to Eri's room and watched her doing her homework. Izuku, are you in trouble, little one? Eri, I don't understand some things. Why does Pedro want so many marbles? Izuku, I've been asking myself the same question for years. Eri, can you help me? Izuku, sure little one. Izuku was helping Eri with her homework until they finally finished and Eri put her homework away and then took out some stuffed animals. Eri, shall we play? 3. Izuku, it's okay, I have some time. They both played for a few hours until Eri's stomach growled. Izuku, hee then we continue playing, we go for small food. Eri, yeah. Hey daddy, what's that on your arm? Izuku, it's a tattoo Eri. Eri, and what does it do? Izuku, nothing. It just covers your skin. Eri, can I make one? Izuku, no. Eri, why? Izuku, you're afraid of needles. Eri, scared do they? Do they do it to you with needles? Izuku, yes. Eri, I don't want to anymore. Izuku, hee hee. Eri went to wash her hands while Izuku cooked, and when she finished she served the food and they began to eat and talk about trivial topics until they finished and Izuku washed the dishes and then went up and changed into his pajamas, which were a black sleeveless shirt and green shorts. Izuku, rest Fuyumi. Fuyumi, why you're not going to sleep with me? Izuku, you're not comfortable with me yet, so I'll sleep on the couch until you're comfortable. Fuyumi, boo butt. Izuku, don't worry, it doesn't bother me. Fuyumi, but it's your bed. Izuku, and yours too, everything of mine is yours. Fuyumi, thank you. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the forehead and then lay down on the couch. Izuku, rest Fuyumi. Fuyumi, why you too Izuku? Fuyumi lay back on the bed as she watched Izuku, who was already falling asleep. Fuyumi, whispering Izuku. Fuyumi fell asleep, as did Izuku, and the whole house fell silent. The next day, Izuku woke up and saw Fuyumi still asleep, so he got up, brushed his teeth and then went down to the kitchen and made breakfast and then went out to the patio and started exercising until he heard someone coming down the stairs. Rei, Izuku? Are you here? Izuku, I'm in the courtyard. King, it's okay. Izuku continued training and then entered the house and went to his room to take a shower. Izuku, shit. I hate Sundays. Izuku continued bathing, and when he finished drying himself he dressed in a black long-sleeved shirt that was too big for him and black jeans apart from his legendary red tennis shoes. Izuku, Sai, I hope this is a good day. Izuku left the room and went to the dining room to eat his breakfast, and when he finished he went to the garage and looked at the 2 cars and the motorcycle he had. Izuku, there's still room for one more. Izuku returned home and sat in the living room next to Eri as they watched a program. Izuku, oh no. It's a novel. I have to get out of here. Fuyumi, Izuku. Izuku, what's wrong Fuyumi? Fuyumi, well, I was wondering if you would take me to work tomorrow. Izuku, sure. You don't have to ask that Fuyumi, I'll take you wherever you want. Fuyumi, really? Izuku, of course. Just tell me where you want to go and I'll take you. Fuyumi, thank you very much Izuku. Everyone continued watching the soap opera while Izuku screamed for something to get him out of this situation, and God heard him and helped him. Izuku's phone rang and he immediately answered. Izuku, what's wrong? Hiro, seriously, I found our little friend who leaked the race information. Izuku, seriously, wow. The mouse came out for more, eh? Both white-haired girls were surprised to see Izuku serious, and then he got up and hung up the phone and then opened a door that went to the basement and went down the stairs, revealing an office. Izuku closed the basement door and then moved a piece of furniture, revealing a hole in the wall where there was a safe, and then he opened it, showing a case along with some bundles of bills, and when he opened the case he took out 2 revolvers, a knife and an aluminum bat. Izuku took the weapons, the knife and the bat, and then put them in a tool bag along with ammunition and put the furniture in its place, hiding the safe, and then left the basement, and both white-haired girls looked with some fear at Izuku since he reminded them of Endeavor. Fuyumi, Izuku, everything alright? Izuku, no, I have a problem at work, I'll be back in a few hours. Fuyumi, it's go go go. Izuku went to the garage and then tied the bag to the motorcycle and put on his helmet and then went at full speed to Hiro's house, and when he arrived he got off the motorcycle and knocked on the door. Izuku, Hiro, open up, I'm here. Hiro opened the door and then went out and got on the motorcycle, as did Izuku, and both went to a warehouse, and when they opened it was dimly lit, but they went down some stairs and saw a person tied to a chair and blindfolded and gagged, and Hiro removed the gag. Hiro, this idiot was the one who leaked the race location. Izuku, alright, we'll make this easy. Release the information and you can see the light of day again. Man, go to hell. Izuku, wrong answer. Izuku hit the man hard in the stomach with the bat, causing him to scream in pain. Izuku, I lost a lot of money because of your stupidity, so I want my information. Man, you won't get anything. Izuku, I always get what I want. Izuku hit him again with the bat in the stomach and another in the face, but he did not leave him unconscious. Izuku, tell me what I want and you can go home. Man, I won't tell you shit. Izuku, okay. Let's level up. Izuku put down the bat and took the knife and then stabbed the man in the leg, and when the man screamed Izuku shut him up with a blow. Izuku, tell me my damn information. Man, never. Izuku stabbed the knife deeper into him, causing the man to continue screaming in pain. Izuku, are you going to talk or not? Man, I won't say anything. Izuku, how stubborn you are. Izuku pulled the knife out of the man's leg and then slashed his other leg, causing the man to scream again. Izuku, shut up, damn it. Izuku put tape on his mouth and then continued torturing him for another couple of hours until the man finally wanted to talk, so Izuku took the tape off his mouth. Man, crying, it's okay. It's okay. I'll talk. Izuku, go ahead, I'm listening. Man, I was sent to ruin his career. It was a gang that wanted to get the green flash out of the way. Please don't follow them anymore. Izuku, thank you for your help. Izuku hit him with the bat, which left him unconscious, and then he went to Hiro, who was watching everything while leaning against a wall. Hiro, so they want to get rid of you. Izuku, I want to see them get it. Hiro, hee, you're good at this, you've never gotten to the revolvers, they always spit the information on the knife. Izuku, natural talent, I guess. You'll know what to do with it. Hiro, okay. Izuku went upstairs and cleaned his face and some blood stains on his clothes and then cleaned the knife and bat before having a beer and putting everything back in the tool bag and getting on the bike. Izuku, hey. Are you going to want me to take you back? Hiro, no, I'm going to stay here for a while. Izuku, well, see you later. Izuku put on his helmet and then started the bike and then went to his house. Izuku drove to his house and after leaving the motorcycle in the garage he entered the house and then went to the office to put the weapons away again, and when he had everything in order he went up and closed the basement and then went to his room, and when he entered he looked at Fuyumi who was resting on the bed. Izuku, I'm back, Fuyumi. Fuyumi, welcome Izuku. Izuku, I'm going to take a shower, when I'm done I'll go down to make you food. Fuyumi, don't worry, I can do it. Izuku, alright, I'll accept just because your food is delicious. Fuyumi, let me go downstairs to make the food. Izuku, you don't have to rush, calm down. Fuyumi, oh okay, sorry. Izuku gave Fuyumi a hug and she blushed a lot since Izuku was shirtless, and then she pulled away and gave him a kiss on the forehead. Izuku, you're cute when you're nervous. Fuyumi, Linda? Izuku, let me go take a shower and then if you want we can go out. Fuyumi, oh okay. Izuku went to take a shower while Fuyumi came down and started preparing food. After a few minutes Izuku came down already changing and ready to leave. Izuku washed his hands and then sat down to eat with the girls. Rei, so are you guys going out? Fuyumi, why yes. Izuku, we hope we don't get back so late. Rei, sighs, don't worry, I have to get used to being alone, when you leave in the mornings I'll be alone. Izuku, we can fix that. But for now it's best to enjoy the food. Everyone finished eating and then Fuyumi went to take a shower and change while Izuku played with Eri in the living room. Eri, why can't I go with you, Dad? Izuku, because this time is for your mom and I to be together. Eri, it's okay. Izuku, but you will stay here with your grandma Rei. Eri, yes. Fuyumi, I'm ready now. Izuku. Izuku, you look very pretty, Fuyumi. Fuyumi, thanks. Izuku, okay, we'll be back later, behave little one. Eri, I don't promise anything. 3. Izuku, I'll settle for that. Izuku and Fuyumi left the house although Fuyumi was a little nervous. Izuku, you don't have to be nervous, Fuyumi, we're going to have our first date. Or well, if it's something to be nervous about, but you don't have to be with me. I have everything figured out. Fuyumi, it's okay. Izuku and Fuyumi were talking about some things until they arrived at a not very luxurious restaurant. Izuku, let's go into Fuyumi. Fuyumi, why yes. They both entered and sat at a table and then a waiter arrived. Waiter, what would you like? Izuku, I'm going to want a katsudon. Fuyumi, I want a gyudon. Waiter, I'll bring them to you right away. The waiter left and then Izuku looked at Fuyumi. Fuyumi, what's wrong? Izuku, nothing. Just. You look cute. Fuyumi, blushing, do you really think I'm cute? Izuku, yes, I'm 100% sure of that. Fuyumi, well, I never considered myself pretty. Izuku, well, that's where you were wrong. You're very cute. Fuyumi, thanks Izuku. Waiter, here are your orders. Izuku, thank you. Fuyumi, wow. They serve you very quickly here. Izuku, Yes, that's why it's one of my favorite places. They both started eating while talking about trivial topics, and little by little Fuyumi lost her nervousness about being with Izuku, although she was still a little afraid of him because of what happened in the morning. Fuyumi, Izuku, can I ask you something? Izuku, yes, of course Fuyumi. Fuyumi, where did you go in the morning? Izuku, well, a problem arose at work with a person who was causing trouble, and since I am the representative of that place, well, I had to leave quickly for there. Fuyumi, and what is the tool bag for? Izuku, sighs, it's better to tell you that another day. Do you agree, Fuyumi? Fuyumi, oh okay. They both finished eating, and after paying the bill, Izuku and Fuyumi were talking and went around several places, and Fuyumi gained a little more confidence with Izuku since he did not prove to be a bad person, but she still did not like him, but with time she would get to do it. After that, Izuku and Fuyumi separated for a moment while the girl went to buy some things, and the green-haired boy took advantage and quickly went to a place, and when he returned he saw how Fuyumi just left the store, so they went back to their house while Izuku was interrogated by Fuyumi since he had a transport cage with a puppy inside, and when they arrived, they entered and saw Rei and Eri playing. Izuku, we're back. Rei, how did it go? Izuku, pretty good, hee hee. Eri, did you bring me something? 3. Izuku, it's not for you but you can play with it. Eri, and what is it? Izuku took the puppy out of the transport cage and then the puppy went to Eri. Fuyumi, I'll go to my room. Rei, is it okay? Fuyumi came up but she had a smile on her face, so Rei knew she wasn't sad. Rei, looks like they had a good time. Izuku, yeah, we had a good time. Rei, well, why did you buy the puppy? Izuku, to keep you company when we're not around. Rei, wow. Thanks Izuku. Izuku, don't worry, well, I'll go get ready because tomorrow I have to go to UA again. Rei, okay. But, what's the puppy's name? Izuku, it doesn't have a name. I thought you wanted to give it a name. Rei, yes, thank you. Well, I'll call you Kira. Kira started licking Rei's cheek, making her smile, and then she went up to her room with Kira and lay down to sleep and left a pillow for Kira to sleep on. Meanwhile, Izuku. He was already preparing the sofa where he was going to sleep while Fuyumi was taking a shower. Izuku, sigh, I think tomorrow will be a tough day. Izuku went to sleep and managed to do so in a few seconds. Fuyumi came out of the bathroom already in her pajamas and saw that Izuku was already asleep, so she smiled and approached him to then give him a kiss on the cheek. Fuyumi, rest Izuku. Fuyumi went to bed and fell asleep within a few minutes. The next day, Izuku woke up and looked at his watch, 6:30, he still had time. He got up and went down to the kitchen and then opened a high shelf and took out a bottle of whiskey and then poured it into a thermos, being watched by Kira. Izuku, if you don't say anything I'll give you a double portion of croquettes. Kira, woof. Izuku, nice to do business. Izuku went upstairs and changed into his uniform and then went downstairs and made breakfast for everyone and then served Kira the 2 servings of croquettes and started eating his breakfast while watching Fuyumi come downstairs with a sleepy face. Izuku, if you need more sleep, do it, I'll wake you up when we leave. Fuyumi, no thanks, yawning, I'm fine. Izuku, if you say so. Eat breakfast, I'll get my backpack and don't drink what's in my thermos. Fuyumi, it's okay. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the forehead and then went up and grabbed his backpack, but when he was about to leave he saw that his forearm had no bandages. Izuku, oh right. I took them off. Izuku took off his jacket and then began to put on his bandages, completely covering his forearm again, and then he put his jacket back on and took his backpack, and when he went down he saw how Rei and Eri were already having breakfast too. Izuku, are you ready? Fuyumi, yes, I'm ready now. Eri, me too. Izuku, okay, get in the car. Izuku took the car keys and his thermos and then kissed Rei on the forehead, caressed Kira, and went to the garage and got in the car. Izuku, okay, let's go. Izuku left the house and went to take Fuyumi to work, and then he took Eri to her school and he drove to UA, and when he arrived he parked and got out of the car and then went to his classroom, and when he entered he saw Momo and Ida. Izuku, hey guys. Izuku faked his lazy attitude again and sat down in his seat before lying down on his table. Ida, Midoriya, you should be more courageous, it's a hero school. Izuku, our teacher has the same attitude as me, I think it's fair. Momo, but you should put a little more effort into things. Izuku, I don't see Aizawa complaining about my performance. Before either of them could claim him, they watched as Izuku had already fallen asleep, earning disapproving glances from Ida and Momo. Throughout the first and second year, Izuku never showed much interest in being a hero. The only time they saw him in the mood to be a hero was when he rescued Eri, and from there, nothing. It seemed like he was there out of obligation. Which in fact he was. The minutes passed and everyone had arrived at the living room looking at Izuku sleeping, but when Katsuki arrived he woke Izuku up with a smack. Katsuki, nerd classes are about to start. Izuku, sighs, I was dreaming about a pillow. Katsuki, a pillow? Izuku, yes, a flying pillow that grants wishes and spoke. Katsuki, and what did he tell you? Izuku, that I should sleep more. Katsuki, wise advice. Aizawa arrived and classes began, although Izuku was not very cheerful as usual, and at lunchtime everyone left and Izuku went to his favorite place to eat. The rooftop. Izuku arrived and sat down leaning against the wall to then enjoy his healthy and nutritious ham sandwich. After a few seconds Katsuki arrived and they both ate and talked about anecdotes until Izuku opened his thermos and Katsuki recognized that smell. Katsuki, do you have whiskey? Izuku, yes. Izuku took 2 big gulps from the thermos and then Katsuki snatched it from him and cleaned the cap before taking a big gulp. Katsuki, ah, I needed that. Izuku, I thought you had whiskey in your room. Katsuki, no, the caterpillar took it from me. Izuku, They both continued talking and drinking until they heard the bell and they both got up, but they started to stagger, but that's how they got down from the roof. Izuku, watch out for the stairs. Katsuki, what scales? Katsuki didn't finish speaking as he slipped and began to roll down all the stairs until he hit the floor, facing Class A who was going back to their classroom. Izuku, those stairs. Izuku used all his concentration to not fall down the stairs, but it was in vain as he also rolled down the stairs until he fell next to Katsuki. Izuku, shit. Kirishima, guys, are you okay? Izuku, sarcastic, yeah. Rolling down 47 steps isn't painful at all. Katsuki, nerd. Where's the thermos? Izuku, here. Izuku took out the thermos, which was without a scratch and with the contents intact. Izuku stood up and opened the thermos and then continued drinking while they were on their way to his classroom, and when they entered, the liquid that was inside had already finished, but now came the most difficult mission. Close the thermos. Izuku sat in his place holding the thermos with one hand and the lid of the thermos with the other. Everyone just looked confused at Izuku, who was putting all his remaining concentration into the thermos. He moved the lid closer to try to close it. But he failed. Again and again he couldn't hit the thermos and he always hit the sides until he finally managed to put the lid back in place. Izuku, next step. Izuku began to slowly turn the lid to close the thermos, and when he finally did, he sighed. Izuku, mission accomplished. Izuku left the thermos in his backpack and then lay down at his desk to wait for classes to start and prayed that there would be no practice, but luck was not on his side. Aizawa entered the classroom and told everyone to go change into their hero costumes since there was a test. Izuku and Katsuki were leaning on each other to avoid falling and managed to reach the gym without falling or tripping. Everyone began to change into their hero outfits, but Izuku was just standing in front of his open briefcase looking at his outfit, and when everyone had left, Izuku began to change into his outfit since he didn't want to be seen without clothes. When he finished changing, he went to the gym but found Katsuki lying on the floor. Izuku, come on, it's not time to fall. Izuku helped Katsuki get up and then they both went to the gym, and as the world conspired against them, several of the top 10 were there to see their performance and give them internships the following year. Katsuki/Izuku, we're screwed. Izuku and Katsuki stood there watching Aizawa explain the rules. Izuku, shit. I'm screwed if they see me drunk, I have to think of something fast. Think. Izuku had a brilliant idea, but he couldn't carry it out because Aizawa spoke. Aizawa, well, the first match will be Izuku Midoriya vs Katsuki Bakugo. Izuku/Katsuki, we're screwed. Both of them went up to the platform in front of the gaze of the top 10. Endeavor, let's see that incredible strength with which you won my daughter. For everyone it would seem like a normal duel, but for the two who were on the platform it was not, since they both saw 3 opponents on the platform. Izuku, shit. I'm seeing triple. Well, if my calculations and experience don't fail me, I must attack the one in the middle. Aizawa, begin. Katsuki walked towards Izuku very clumsily, but Izuku didn't move and just watched Katsuki approach. Izuku, okay. Attack the one in the middle. Izuku threw a flame at Katsuki, but the fire came out slowly and weakly. Izuku, stupid, sensual whiskey. Izuku and Katsuki began to exchange rather clumsy blows until someone spoke. Aizawa, what's wrong with you two? I know Midoriya is a weakling, but he knows how to defend himself, and Bakugo would have already finished. They both just stopped and stared at each other until Katsuki tried to attack, but Izuku stopped the blow. Izuku, alright. We both know we're not in the best condition, so it's best to end this. Sensei, I give up. Aizawa, just like that? Midoriya, if you give up that easily you'll fail this test. Izuku, meh, it wouldn't be the first. Izuku stepped off the platform as everyone watched. Izuku, walk straight. Walk straight. Izuku and Katsuki fell to the ground for no apparent reason. Izuku, stupid whiskey. Izuku got up and went to the bathroom and splashed his face with cold water. Izuku, shit. How am I going to be able to be in the other fights? Katsuki entered the bathroom and also wet his face with cold water. Izuku, any ideas on how to get this off of us? Katsuki, just one. If it works we can be better. Izuku, and that's it? Suddenly he received an explosion in the chest, causing him to go through the walls and sending him towards where the heroes were. Izuku, shit. Katsuki, it worked? Izuku stood up and shook his head, then looked forward and saw normal. Izuku, I think so. Katsuki, test. Izuku started punching the air with pretty good karate and boxing moves, surprising some heroes. Izuku, yes, I'm better now. Katsuki, fine, I'll go. Izuku approached and hit Katsuki, sending him crashing into a wall, and when he got up he was already better. Izuku, alright. I never thought that would work, but it did. Aizawa, what's wrong with you two? Katsuki/Izuku, we were drunk. Ida, what? How can they be drunk on such an important test? Katsuki, shut up 4 eyes or I'll shine you. Izuku, hee hee. Shinio. Mina, you're irresponsible, Midoriya. Izuku, I already knew that and I'm not interested. Aizawa, okay, go back up, you'll face each other again, and if you do wrong, you'll be grounded for 3 months. They both climbed onto the platform and stood guard. Aizawa, begin. Izuku began to throw many flames at Katsuki, who dodged them with some difficulty, but then he launched himself at Izuku, thus beginning to exchange quite fast and strong blows until Izuku gave Katsuki an uppercut, and when he was in the air a kick in the stomach, but Katsuki did a flip in the air and aimed one of his grenades at Izuku, who just smiled, and a flame appeared in his hand, and so both launched their attacks, which upon impact generated another explosion that covered the arena with dust, and when it dissipated they were both standing breathing somewhat tired and aiming their attacks at each other ready for another clash, but instead of that they ran towards each other. Katsuki, Izuku uu. Izuku, Katsukive. They both hit each other in the face and then began to exchange blows again, leaving the heroes surprised since they both fought quite well. Izuku/Katsuki, shiny. Izuku was going to give him a flame in the face and Katsuki an explosion, but they only slapped each other in the face, and when they turned to look they saw Aizawa with his quirk activated. Aizawa, that's enough, they fought well. Izuku, whatever. They both got off the platform and then went to their places and continued watching the fights, although none of them were that interesting to them until Izuku's phone rang. Izuku, answering, what's wrong? Hero, the band that wanted to get you out of the way. Hadden. Explosive farewell, D. Izuku, you killed like that just for your balls? Hero, yeah, I asked my balls and they said of course yes. Izuku, asshole. Hero, but you, idiot, mwok. Izuku hung up his phone, and after the fights were over they went to the locker room, although Izuku went ahead, and when the boys arrived they saw him already changed, and then he returned to the classroom and took his things since he had already finished the school day. He left UA and took his car and then went to Iri's school and saw her talking to her teacher at the door, so Izuku parked and got out of the car. Izuku, sorry for being late Iri, let's go. Iri, yes daddy. Teacher, are you Iri's father? Izuku, yes, why? Teacher, oh, there's a parent meeting tomorrow so please come. Izuku, of course I'll be here. Izuku got into the car and then they went to Fuyumi's work. She was leaving the school where she worked, and when she was about to leave she heard a voice. Izuku, don't you want me to take you? Fuyumi turned around and looked at Izuku leaning against his car looking at her with a smile. Fuyumi, yes, thank you. Izuku opened the door for Fuyumi and she entered, then Izuku got into the car and left from there towards his house. Izuku arrived with Fuyumi and Eri to their house and put the car in the garage and then got out and entered the house watching Rei playing with Kira. Izuku, we're back, Rei. King, welcome. Izuku, okay, Eri, go do your homework. I'll be in the yard. Izuku went out to the courtyard and began to train and then went up to his room and entered the bathroom to then start showering, and when he finished he changed and left the bathroom. He had on a somewhat loose black long sleeve shirt and black jeans, and now he put on blue tennis shoes. Izuku, not my style, I'm more of a boots person. Izuku went down to the kitchen and watched as Rei was preparing the food. Izuku, I was just going to go down to do it, he. Rei, sorry, but I feel bad without doing anything. Izuku, well, here you are not obliged to anything. Rei, but still, I don't like doing nothing. Izuku, okay, you'll cook for today. Izuku washed his hands and then walked over to the table and sat down while checking his cell phone. Fuyumi, Izuku. Izuku, what's wrong, Fuyumi? Fuyumi, well, I was wondering if you'd let me bring some friends. Izuku, hee. Fuyumi, what's wrong? Izuku, you have quite a childish attitude for being older than me. Or well, more than childish, it is a shy attitude since you ask permission for everything. Fuyumi, boo, well, I don't know what things could bother me. Izuku stood up and hugged Fuyumi and then kissed her on the head. Izuku, yes Fuyumi, you can bring friends. Fuyumi, thank you. Rei served the food and everyone started eating while talking about trivial things, and when they finished eating Izuku washed the dishes and then went down to his office, although he left the door open. Izuku, well, let's see if it's going to be good for me to do it. Izuku began to check various things on his computer until he heard them coming down and saw Fuyumi, who was surprised to see Izuku's office. Izuku, what's wrong, Fuyumi? Fuyumi, well, I was wondering if we could go on another date later. Izuku, sure. Fuyumi, well, I'll let you work. Izuku, don't worry, I was just doing some research, if you need anything let me know. Fuyumi, yes, I will. Fuyumi went up and Izuku continued to investigate until he found everything he wanted. Izuku, sighs, well, I think it will be worth it. Later I will have to see the results, but for now it is worth it. Izuku turned off the computer and went upstairs to see Fuyumi and Rei watching television. Izuku, girls, I'll be back in a few hours, I'm going to check on some things at work. Fuyumi, it's okay Izuku. Izuku gave them both a kiss on the head and then went to the garage and took his motorcycle, put on his helmet and left in the direction of the workshop where he had left the car. He arrived and looked at the place. Izuku, it just needs a good cleaning. Izuku started cleaning the place and finished after an hour. Izuku, let's see if all the tools are there. Izuku began to check all the tools and after verifying that they were all there he took out his phone and made a call. Izuku, filth? Hero, bitch, what do you want? Izuku, I'm going to open it. Hero, open what? Izuku, the workshop. Hero, and how the hell does that affect me? Izuku, are you going to drink alcohol? Hero, I can't, mommy hits me, D. Izuku, take it seriously. Hero, seriously you can't take it, just write, listen and read, it seems that you left primary school unfinished. Izuku, cut off your grandmother. Hero, you might as well fuck your father. Izuku hung up the call and then went to the office he had in the workshop and checked his accounts. Izuku, I have $150 million currently, about $15,000 for the services, that's recovered from what we would charge. This has a future. Izuku left his accounts and then turned off the lights and then got on his motorcycle and returned home. He left the motorcycle in the garage and entered the house looking at Fuyumi with her girls of the same age as the albino with red locks. Izuku, I'm back Fuyumi. Fuyumi, welcome Izuku. Izuku, I'll be in the room doing some things, if you need anything let me know. Fuyumi, sure. Izuku went up to the room leaving the three girls alone again. Is that him? Fuyumi, yes. It doesn't look very surprising. Fuyumi, believe me, it is. And he doesn't mistreat you or anything? We're alone, you can tell me. Fuyumi, no, he treats me very well Akira. It seems that he is a good boy. Fuyumi, he's pretty good to me. Akira, you really hit the lottery, Fuyumi. Fuyumi, nervous well I don't know him 100% yet. What's the worst thing he could do? He's just a boy. Fuyumi, appearances can sometimes be deceiving Aiko. Aiko, maybe, but he looks like a good boy. Meanwhile Izuku was upstairs drinking a beer while doing some extra work that Aizawa left him for being drunk during the test. After a few minutes he got bored and burned them and then lay down on the bed. Izuku, I gotta do something about this shit. Izuku sighed again and then received a call so he answered it. Hiro, bitch, I have a freer career than your bachelor years, D. Izuku, I'm lying in bed, rot. Hiro, it will be 75,000 plus 100,000 that I will give you for being a good whore, D. Izuku, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Izuku stood up and took his cap and mask and then went to his garage watching as the girls were still there. Izuku, Fuyumi, I'll be back tonight. And don't wait up for me because you have to work tomorrow. Fuyumi, yes. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the forehead and went to the garage to then take his car and leave the house. Aiko, that was suspicious. Fuyumi, he always goes out once at night, I don't know where he goes. Akira, mockingly maybe I'm cheating on you. Fuyumi, I don't know. I have suspicions, he arrives very late and tired. Aiko, don't pay attention to him Fuyumi, I don't think he's cheating on you. Akira, then why would a man go out at night? Meanwhile Izuku arrived at the street race and got out of the car looking for Hiro and found him drinking a beer while a somewhat drunk girl asked him for a night together. Izuku, dirty things, when does this start? Hiro, we're missing an idiot, if he takes too long I'll start. Izuku, I hope so. Izuku went and grabbed a bottle of juice while he was leaning on his car drinking the juice. Izuku, I have to stop drinking so much. My quirk helps me so that I don't get into trouble from drinking too much, but I can't overdo it. How I wish it would also prevent me from getting drunk. Izuku continued drinking his juice until the competitor arrived and then Izuku smiled. Izuku, I hope it's a good race. Hiro, 3, 2, 1. Run bitches. Izuku quickly took the lead and began to walk through the streets of lonely Japan. Izuku, damn, I haven't had a good career yet. Being so good has its consequences. Izuku finished first as usual and then got out of the car and went with Hiro. Izuku, my money. Hiro, here you go. Hiro gave Izuku 175,000 and he just kept it and got back in the car. Izuku, see you in a week. Hiro, bye, take care or I'll be left without Yuke. Izuku began to drive calmly and silently while humming a song until he arrived at his house and just put the car in the garage and then entered the house and went up to his room looking at Fuyumi sleeping. Izuku, whispering I'm glad he listened to me this time. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the forehead and then changed into his pajamas to sleep on the couch. The next day, Izuku got up since he smelled something delicious in the kitchen so he changed into his UA uniform and checked that his tattoo was covered and then took his backpack and went down to the kitchen watching as Fuyumi was preparing breakfast. Izuku, good morning Fuyumi. Fuyumi, oh, you're awake. Good morning Izuku. Izuku walked over and gave Fuyumi a kiss on the cheek before washing his hands. After a few minutes Fuyumi served breakfast and everyone started eating and when they finished Izuku took his backpack as did Iri and Fuyumi took her things. Izuku, we'll be back in the afternoon Rei-chan. Rei, take care. The three of them got into the car and headed to Fuyumi's work. Fuyumi, Totoma Izuku, I made you some sandwiches to eat at you. Izuku, thank you very much Fuyumi. Izuku took the sandwiches and gave them to Iri and she put them in her father's backpack but not before stealing one from him and putting it in her backpack. Izuku arrived at Fuyumi's school and parked in front of the door. Izuku, I'll pick you up in the afternoon. Fuyumi, yes, thank you. Izuku gave Fuyumi a kiss on the cheek and she blushed but got out of the car and said goodbye to Izuku before going to work. Izuku, okay shorty. Let's go to your school. Izuku drove to Iri's school and then parked and they both got out of the car and Izuku carried Iri and they entered the school and they both arrived at Iri's classroom where there were several parents with their children. Teacher, good morning parents. Parents minus Izuku, good morning. Teacher, well, this meeting is mainly to talk about your children's performance at school. Izuku, this is going to be a long meeting. The teacher started saying all bad and good things about the students until she got to Eri. Teacher, Eri Midoriya. Eri raised her hand and the teacher saw how she was next to Izuku. Teacher, well, young Midoriya, Eri is one of the best in the class. She is quite good at math and gymnastics, but she has a problem. She is very unsociable, she is always alone during breaks. Do you have any idea why? Izuku, yes, I know why it is like that, but I can't say it because they are bad memories for Eri. Teacher, I understand, we'll talk about that later. The teacher continued giving the performance of the other students, but Eri had her gaze down. Izuku, in a low voice, what's wrong, Eri? Eri, sad, is it wrong that I'm unsociable? Izuku, not at all, daughter. It's not bad, if you feel comfortable like that, then no one can judge you. Eri, thanks dad. Izuku gave Eri a kiss on the forehead and then the meeting continued until the parents were finally able to leave, and when the teacher told them to say goodbye no one paid attention and they went to the yard to play since it was time to do gymnastics, but Eri did stay. Eri, bye dad, good luck at UA. Izuku, thanks daughter, I'll pick you up in the afternoon so you don't go get yourself punished. Eri, I won't, bye dad. Eri gave her father a kiss on the cheek and then went to play with the other kids. Izuku, sigh, that girl will one day give me a heart attack from so much cuteness. Izuku went to his car and after getting in he headed towards UA. Izuku, mommy Caterpillar sensei is going to scold me. Izuku arrived at UA and parked, then entered UA and went to his classroom, knocking on the door, and after a few seconds it was opened by Aizawa. Aizawa, and this? It's usually 5 minutes, not 2 hours. Izuku, Eri had a parent meeting. Aizawa, I'll give it as valid, although I'll leave you an extra task. Izuku, deal, I'm going to burn her Mwajajaja, d. Izuku entered and sat in his place, and after a few hours he left at lunchtime and went to the rooftop. Izuku, let's see how delicious Fuyumi's sandwiches are. Izuku took a bite and began to taste it before sighing. Izuku, my goodness Fuyumi. You cook deliciously. Izuku continued enjoying his sandwiches until his cell phone rang, so he answered it. Izuku, now what the hell do you want? Hiro, well, screwing up your days, as always, d. Izuku, ah fuck. Hiro, there is also an illegal motorcycle race, they will give you 10,000. Izuku, you always have street races, asshole. Hiro, it's just that I have contacts, appa. Izuku, well then, I'll be there. Hiro, rot broccoli head. Izuku, I love you too. Izuku hung up the call and then continued eating his sandwiches until the bell rang indicating the end of lunch time. Izuku came down from the roof and went to his classroom, and when he entered he sat in his place and waited for class to start. After a few minutes everyone arrived, although Aizawa had not arrived yet, so they started talking. Izuku, I want to get out of here now. Katsuki, there are 4 days left, calm down. Izuku, the first day I'm out of here. I'll reopen the workshop. Katsuki, what? Everyone paid attention to the boys' conversation, although discreetly. Izuku, why are you surprised? Katsuki, I thought you weren't going to open the shop again. Izuku, and so it was. Although now because of so much boredom I will do it. Katsuki, hire me. Izuku, Nell, I mean why should I? Katsuki, the parties they throw after work days are the best. Izuku, that's not true. Katsuki, you're lying and you know it. Izuku, it could be. Katsuki, besides, you and Hiro have all the women at your feet. Izuku, that's not true. Katsuki, girls put on provocative clothes and dance sensually in front of you. Isn't that having them at your feet? Izuku, right. Why would they do that? Katsuki, maybe because your best friend is the most desired? Izuku, yes, sluts, I'll tell you to stay away from my man. At that moment the whole room fell into deathly silence and Katsuki cleared his throat. Katsuki, that didn't sound straight at all. Aizawa, entering the classroom, go to the gym, you have a test. They all went to the gym, although Izuku went ahead, and when they arrived they saw him already with his suit on. Kirishima, hey bro, why is your outfit like that? Izuku, how so? Kaminari, you know. Street type. Izuku, I like that style. Katsuki, come on nerd, duty calls. Izuku and Katsuki left the locker room and went to the gym where Class B was also. Katsuki, so what do you say nerd, will you hire me? Izuku, do you know how to fix a car? Katsuki, of course. I will do an excellent job. Izuku, meh, what could I lose? Katsuki, great. This will be the best job in the world. Kirishima, hey brothers, sorry to butt in but. What are you talking about? Katsuki, Izuku has a mechanic shop. Kirishima, really bro? Izuku, yeah, it's not a big deal. Katsuki, but you are the best mechanic in the city, apart from being the most desired by several girls. Class B was listening attentively as they were interested in the conversation. Katsuki, Izuku is the second most alpha, as the undisputed champion is hero. Kirishima, I think you're exaggerating. Katsuki, with one thing they will praise him. Kaminari, which one? Katsuki, Izuku can play any video game with lag. All the men were shocked and then prostrated themselves before Izuku, including those from Class B. Men, teach us to be like you, Izuku-sama. Izuku, you screwed up Katsuki. Katsuki, whatever, let's do this shit. The test consisted of saving a hostage with the help of someone from the other class, and the teams were chosen at random, but we will only focus on the main character. Izuku and Ibara versus Kaminari and Awase. Izuku stood with Ibara at the door of the building. Ibara, do you have any plans? Izuku, let's see. Your quirk is vine and mine is fire, so we can't combine them. For Kaminari you can take care of Awase and I'll take care of it, okay? Ibara, I think that's very good. They both entered the building and reached where they were both. Upon seeing them, Awase tried to weld them to the ground, but Ibara caught him with her vines, although she ended up exposed to a discharge from Kaminari, but before he contacted her, Izuku blocked it. Ibara, worried, are you okay? Izuku, yes. I've been through worse things. Izuku went towards Kaminari, who tried to give him another shock, but he didn't succeed since Izuku managed to hit him in the stomach, which stopped him, and then kicked him in the face, which knocked him out and then took him hostage. Aizawa, the heroes win. Ibara released Awase and then went to Izuku. Izuku, it didn't turn out as we planned, but it still worked out, hee. Ibara, thank you for protecting me from downloading. Izuku, don't worry, I wouldn't let them harm my partner. Izuku gave a big smile, to which Ibara also smiled, and then they both helped their companions out of the building. After the tests ended, everyone went back to the classrooms for their things and Izuku left the UA. Izuku, sighs, what a day. Izuku got into his car and then headed towards Iri's school, and after a few minutes he arrived and saw her talking to her teacher, so he got out of the car. Izuku, Iri, I'm here, let's go. Iri, yes dad. Teacher, young Midoriya, could you come again at entrance time tomorrow? Izuku, yeah, sure. Teacher, thank you. Iri got into the car, as did Izuku, and then they both went to Fuyumi's work. She was arriving at the door of the school where she worked while she was reviewing some papers. Fuyumi, wow kids, I can't believe you all want to be heroes. Fuyumi sat on a small bench outside the school while organizing papers until she heard a car approaching and looked up to see Izuku's car, so she smiled and Izuku got out of the car to go with her. Izuku, sorry for being late Fuyumi, the last class was a test and I had to stay until it was over. Fuyumi, don't worry Izuku. Izuku helped Fuyumi with her things and then opened the car door for her as she got in, and then Izuku closed the door and got into the car, leaving Fuyumi's things in the back seat. Izuku, take care of them little one, it's your mission, do you think you can accomplish it? Iri, sir, yes sir. Izuku gave Iri a kiss on the forehead and then got into the car and started to go to his house. Fuyumi, Izuku, are we going on another date? Izuku, do you want it to be today? Fuyumi, why yes, but if you can't, it's no problem. Izuku, calm down Fuyumi, if I can, I have time. Izuku arrived at his house and then parked the car in the garage and opened the door for Fuyumi to then help her with her things. Izuku, then get ready, we will have another date. Fuyumi, yes.